20 years ago, he conquered the world. But today, we're going to find out if he can conquer the Hot Laps Challenge. Steve Clarke is a former junior world champion, a former European champion, a two-stroke expert as well, who starred in one of the most viewed videos we've ever had on this channel. But today we're going to see how far up the leaderboard he can climb. The man at the top right now is the local hero, the guy that owns this track. Let's see if Steve can take him down. Welcome to Hot Laps, the show where every month we invite a new rider to come and show us what they're made of and lay down a fast lap. This is a battle for the red plate and the ultimate bragging rights. So let's flame on and get started. In this episode, we have a seasoned MX2 pro racer who's never been afraid to lay it all on the line, taking on the Hot Lap Challenge here at Doncaster Motor Park. But does Steven Clarke have what it takes to climb to the top of our leaderboard? Let's find out. Before we get going though, let's just talk about the rules. Every rider will get 3 laps to set a heater, and we'll pick the fastest of those to throw on the board. The bikes used are the rider's choice, and the conditions are the conditions. A crossbox device will be used to record all of the lap times, and the rider at the top of the leaderboard at the end of the season will win the grand prize. So we're off to the races then. Steve is away from the line. Let's see what he's made of on board his KTM 250 SXF here. The clock is on. Steve is going to have 3 laps here, 3 chances to throw down a heater. And I'm going to show you all 3 laps today in this episode, so pay close attention. I want you guys to guess in the comments down below which of these next 3 laps you think is the fastest. Steve going to the inside here, into the roller section at the back side of Doncaster Motor Park, and inside there as he drops down into one of the most important corners of the track, this flat 180-degree right-hand turn. It's very tricky, you need to get that right, but nicely scrubbed over the double there, getting the wheels on the ground as quickly as possible, keeping it low again over that tabletop. And that's nicely done, doubling around the inside of the sweeper into the chicane there. That was super quick from Steve on this opening lap. Through the chicane he goes. You can make up loads of time there, or you can lose time. It's a tricky section, is the chicane. But over the central tabletop he goes again, scrubbing nicely, keeping the bike low, getting the wheels on the ground as fast as possible. It's looking good for Steve. He's hanging it all out there at Doncaster Motor Park today. He's keen to get his name to the top of the leaderboard then. That's for sure, that's for certain right now. A little hesitation there, but he's back on the gas over the tree jump and heading down towards paddock turn. Steve has always had tons of style as he goes over the tunnel jump, and he's showing that here today. Getting loose on the bike, throwing it sideways where he can through the penultimate turn. This has been an aggressive first lap for Steve. Let's see if he can improve on this next one. Over the line he goes, so that's lap 1 complete. He's got 2 more chances to better that lap. Just sending it, using the outside lines here, maybe switching up lines this lap. Cutting down on that berm. But yes, going to the outside here, carrying so much speed through the rollers, outside to outside in that section then, and launching down the step there. Full send for Steve on lap 2. Nicely done through the flat turn, over the double again. Not quite as low on the scrub this time. Railing the outside once again. Going to the inside, doubling around the turn. That is super, super fast from Steve. Cutting it down slightly early, coming out of the berm there. Just trying to stay out of the deep stuff, I should imagine. Steve has been lucky today. The track is in prime condition. Oh, look at that, hanging off the back of the KTM, using every inch of power available to him. And throwing it sideways over the final tabletop before the paddock turn. Cutting down slightly early again there, staying out of the deeper stuff, over the tunnel jump into the penultimate turn. Slight hesitation around that corner. A little bubble in the final turn. The third and final lap has begun then, and I'll just take this opportunity to say a big thank you to our channel sponsors, Pewterline Motorcycle Oils, for supporting us and supporting the Hot Lap show here. Be sure to check out Pewterline next time you need to restock on essentials. They've got your motorcycle oils, lubricants, cleaning products and so much more. Just head over to the Pewterline website, type in your bike model into their search bar and they'll bring up all of the products they recommend you need for your machine. Let's see which line Steve thought was quickest, inside or outside. He's gone to the outside again, so he's thinking the outside lines here are the fastest. Outside through the rollers and outside again. Is he right? What do you guys think? Which lap has looked the fastest to you so far? Again, comment down below, which lap do you think was the fastest? Oh, keeping it so low over these jumps. That has always been one of Steve's specialities. Is the jumps, is the scrubs, is the style. That's what he's been known for throughout his career. He's got a Supercross background. He grew up riding and racing in America, spent a lot of time at MTF, I believe that's the Millsaps training facility over there in Georgia. We're into the final part of the lap then. And Steve is hanging it all out there, leaving nothing on the table in this third and final lap around Doncaster Motor Park. This has looked fast to me. Steve has been on fire as he heads through the penultimate turn into the final corner of the lap. Has he done enough to climb to the top of the leaderboard? We're going to chat to Steve and then we're going to find out.
How do you feel that went, Steve?
Yeah, it was alright. I left a bit of speed on the table in a couple of corners, but I felt like I really nailed some of the others, so I think it was pretty even, to be fair.
If you want to come and watch us film an episode of Hot Laps, you can do that by joining up to the DMP memberships. We'll be filming these episodes at the monthly DMP membership days. There's more information on screen and in the description down below. So here we are then, back for a Hot Laps episode, and we've got the one and only Steve Clarke in the hot seat today. You've just seen him in action. But obviously, Steve's had a prolific career racing in America, Australia, China, he was telling me. He's a European champion, world junior champion, this Coastal British Championship. So I've got some questions for Steve and then we'll get into the lap time reveal. You have raced all over the world, like we've mentioned. Where's the best moto scene?
For the tracks and the racing's got to be America.
What part are we talking about? Because you're like, you was MTF boy,
yeah,
right?
I was an East Coast boy, and if I'm honest, East Coast tracks are better. They've got better dirt, better weather. California and the West Coast, very dry, and a lot of hard pack. But if I had to pick a track, I would have said, it's closed down now, but Steel City Raceway, unbelievable track. But yeah, America's like, for racing side of it, closely followed by Australia. The moto scene over there is unreal. Like it's a bit more laid back. It's not quite as big, but they've got some really cool tracks. And I mean, like the atmosphere is wicked.
Yeah, and they love it, don't they? Yeah. You've had some real highs in your career. You're a world champion, 2005 85cc world champion. You won the European Championship EMX 250. You raced Supercross. You've raced in the AMA Nationals. What for you is the highlight of your career? You're still racing at the moment. There's still some to come, I'm sure. But looking back now, what's been the top?
Honestly, I had a top 5 in a Supercross main event. East Coast Lights 2009, Indianapolis. It's burnt into my brain, into my memory. That is probably the highlight, because that is, as a kid, I grew up watching Carmichael, Stewart. I'm even pushing back the videos from prior, you know, Rick Johnson and Jeff Ward and them guys, and watching, you know, the AMA Supercross is like the pinnacle of the sport. Under the lights, in the stadiums, everybody watching, and yeah, it's not a podium, but a top 5 is special, you know, and I would say that's up there again, closely followed by the Junior World Championship.
Talk about that 2005 World Championship then. Obviously a massive moment in your career, one of the highlights like you just said. This might be a tough question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Would you trade that win for the British title that you just missed out on? Was it 2016?
16, yeah. No.
You wouldn't?
No. And I'd say, the reason why, that was like the start of my success. Prior to that, the year before, I was top 10s in the British Championship on big wheels. I was top 5s here and there. I'd won one race on small wheels, but I hadn't won an overall or anything. And then 2005 rolls around, I win the British Championship, the KWS Championship, Champion of Champions. I rocked up at the occasional European round and I won that. We had one in England and I won that. Then the Junior Worlds rolls up, and it was just something about it. Like, I was sick as a dog the night before, and I just woke up on race day and everything just clicked. My starts were good. I rode wicked. I think I went with a 1-2 score, but it was against like people now that have been racing GPs for many years and had a successful career. My biggest rival was Jose Boutron. The
whole shot king.
Yeah, whole shot king. We had a coming together. I took him out. We didn't speak for years, and then all of a sudden we bumped into each other on the ferry and we reminisced about the race and about the vibe, and he actually congratulated me then, you know, 10 years later, which was pretty cool. Yeah, but no, definitely wouldn't swap it.
Having been a world champion at 15, you were on at 85. Like you say, it kick-started your career, but how important do you think it is for kids to find success that early, or do you think if you miss out on the World Championship on a 65 and 85, is it the biggest deal? Could you still obviously make it afterwards? I think the answer is yes,
yeah.
Right?
If I'm honest, after going through it all, I think it is irrelevant to win it. I think it's very important to go and have a go at it, experience the big stage, experience what it takes to be at the races, and have all of those things in your pocket. But I really don't think you need to start peaking in your career until you're probably at 17, 18, going on to 250s, and even then your first year doesn't matter. And I think it's imperative that if you want to try and make it in this sport, that you need to get into it early at the high level and see what it's about and see what other people are doing your age and who your competition is, and you know how much work they've had done to their bike, how much are they training, are they faster than me here, are they faster than me there. I think that is important.
When the lights are on you, when you reach your peak on that big stage, you're not going to freeze up.
Can you
used
handle
to
it as well? Like, for me, I'm not very good at practice. I'll go training, even still to this day, I'm not. I can turn it up a notch when it gets to the race.
We'll find out in a minute.
But I believe that when the lights turn on, that's when you should game. You know, like a boxer, they spar all week in the gym, and then they turn it on when it comes to the actual fight. And I think our sport is a lot the same. You can only risk so much at practice because it doesn't really mean anything. But when you get to the race, if you really want to win, you will hang it out, and you will risk it for the biscuit.
Yeah. I think we've seen you do that a fair few times, right? Yeah. In your career, who's your favourite person you've ever raced against, and who's the least favourite competitor you ever had? Just like you lined up to them next to them on the gate. You go, oh Christ, this is going to be an intense moto.
My favourite person to battle, man. It's hard to pinpoint one person throughout my career, but the one person I did battle with all year was Adam Sterry for that 2016 championship. polar opposite people. I'm happy-go-lucky, wasn't doing anything in the gym, was just riding. He was Mr. Motivator in the gym, cycling, training. And when we would race, we had nothing but respect for each other. We never took each other out. We weren't brake checking each other. Granted, I gifted him his championship.
For those that can't remember the 2016 British Championship, it went down to the last race, didn't it?
Yeah, it went down to Fox Hills, my stomping grounds, and I had bike issues in the first race. I won the second race by a mile out of spite, I think. But it was good to battle with him, and even still we've remained friends, you know. And a lot of time when you're in such a head-to-head battle with one person, you end up hating each other. That's hard to get away from. But we stayed friends. We've, you know, even now we'll still have a talk and stuff. As for my least favourite person to race against is also one of my friends, Vince Freeze.
Oh yeah.
I know a lot of people are going to jump in the comments and say and agree with me, but one thing I will say is please don't judge him by his riding, because he's a really nice guy.
The person's different to the rider.
He is a really, really nice guy.
Or the person's different to the racer, I should say.
Yeah. Once he puts his helmet on, which I do actually, I see his side on it. He wants to win so bad, or wants to do well so bad, that when he gets on the bike, his brain turns off and he will do whatever it takes. Sometimes we've seen him do things that he shouldn't have done, but as far as, you know, with Vince, he's going to give it 110%. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. That's why he's my least favourite person.
So we'll move on to the questions that I'll ask everyone that comes onto the Hot Lap show then. So first off, why this bike? Why did you ride the bike you rode today? It's a rider's choice. You can ride anything. I know you've got some cool bikes in your collection, but explain your ride today and for this season.
Well, it wasn't really by choice, if I'm honest. I had all my CR500 rebuilt after it broke at Fox Hills. I've had a new crank, new piston, new bearings, gears tumbled, the full works. Had it all built up, put all the plastics back on it yesterday, last minute, and the clutch was an issue. My other 500 is in pieces still from Fox Hills. I swapped all of the suspension out of my 125 into the 500, so I was looking at my practice bike 250 and my race bike 250, and that one you want to keep the hours off. That's the one that you put as much time on as you want. So it was pretty much the only one I had left, if I'm honest.
So is your practice 2025, is it?
Yeah, it's 2025. It's got an ECU, a second injector and a pipe. Yeah. No engine work, pump fuel. It goes pretty good.
You're privateer this year, are you? Yeah, so why have you picked KTM?
Just, I think they're the best bike. They suit me the best, should I say. I don't think they're the best bike. They suit me the best. I've got a good suspension setup for it, which is still my suspension setting from 2016. I work with Ian at Moto33 and we've tweaked it here and there, a few bits and pieces, but it works good. I've got a good engine tuner in Belgium that can make my race bikes fast.
I think you've already answered this question, but favourite track in the world for you?
Still City is one of my favourite tracks. I would say Matterley Basin is my favourite track. If I had to pick just a track, Matterley Basin. Yeah. Soil's mint. The jumps are huge. I love big jumps. I've been, born and raised in America. Well, born here, raised in America, should I say? Big jumps. It flows really good. It's in and out of the valleys. It's a motocross rider's dream.
This question's up for interpretation. All I'm going to ask is AMA or MXGP?
AMA.
AMA.
Without hesitation.
As a fan and a rider?
Both, yeah.
Who is on your Mount Rushmore of motocross, so the 4 greatest of all time for you personally? Don't have to be in wins or whatever, but your 4 favourite.
Anyone who doesn't pick Carmichael, I think, is crazy.
It's crazy, yeah.
Carmichael, Everts, those 2 places are solidified for similar reasons, but different riding styles. My 3rd rider is going to be Bubba, for innovating the sport, for the speed that he did. And I firsthand have watched him do things that not one other person on a motocross bike around the world can do. Yeah. Some of those jumps that, racing against the other guys, he wasn't even the fastest guy, but he's doing a jump that no one else can do. Is just mind-blowing. And then my 4th rider, Caroli. That guy is a beast. To win 9 titles, retire, and then go, you know what, I'm going to go and race AMA, is mind-blowing to me. I could have said Rick Johnson, you know, David Bailey. There's, you know, other riders.
But for you, you've seen
me,
those.
Yeah, those
hand,
four.
yeah.
Well, when I won the junior world title, it was Caroli's first world title, and we spent the presentation together in Monaco, and didn't have to, but he had made the time to have a chat to me and my family, and I just thought that was cool.
So final question then, before we get the lap times out and we reveal where you're going to sit on that board there. Call someone out for us, Steve. Who do you want to see come and take on the hot lap challenge? Someone in your phone book, I reckon, that you could drop a text and come and drop a lap here at DMP.
I'm going to say Tommy.
Tommy Searle?
Yeah, come on, Tommy. Bring it on, mate. Let's see if you can keep up.
I reckon what would be cool, get Tommy and Billy Askew here on the same day and see if Tommy can outrun his apprentice.
Yeah.
Right, let's get these times out then, Phil.
Let's see where we're at.
Producer Phil is the only one that knows the times at the moment. He'll hand the time to me and I will tease you with the result. So Steve did 3 laps on your practice bike today, and this is the fastest of those 3 laps. On the board already, we've got Ed Bradley, he owns this place. Rob Hollyoak, 2-stroke hero, did that on a KTM 125, which is pretty cool. And then our test man, Sean Smith, he's a 53, 54. Yep. He's an old man, he's a granddad. So that's a good time from Sean there. Now, conditions have changed since then, but the rules are conditions are the conditions. It was pretty much prime out there.
Oh yeah, I got lucky. It was pretty much 10 out of 10 today.
So Steve Clarke on his KTM 250 SXF, a 1:38.19. So you're going straight to the top.
Right. I'll take that.
So we have a new Hot Laps champion. Steve Clarke will be taking home the red plate today. Let us know who else you want to see come and do the Hot Laps challenge. The challenge has gone out to Tommy Searle, so let's see if we can get him here. But let us know in the comments who else you want to see. Steve, it's been a pleasure, mate. Thanks for riding. Thanks for sending it. Thanks for setting a new record. We'll see who can beat that. Till next time, we'll see you at the track.
Got one important thing, Steve. That's cool.
Here we go.
Well done, mate.
Congratulations. Yeah. Number 1.
Who's going to beat Steve?
Red plate. Bring it on, boys.
Who do you want to see take on the Hot Laps challenge and add their name to this leaderboard? Let us know who you want to see in the comments down below. As always, guys, my name is Max. You've been watching 999 Laser. Till next time, we'll see you at the track.